So you've watched a couple videos and you're ready to invest in real estate. Seems like everybody's doing it these days. There's a lot of people making videos on buying real estate is the easiest way to become a millionaire. You buy this house and then you take some money out on the equity that you have in that house, and then you keep doing it until you're a millionaire after a year or two, right? Well, it doesn't exactly work that way. In this video, I'm going to break it down, what it means to be a real estate investor, and hopefully I can give you an alternative that's going to be a better option for you. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up everybody, I'm Clay, I'm here with VectorVest. Yes, I've tried investing in real estate, and yes, it worked out for me, but trust me when I tell you this, it is not what people on YouTube are telling you about. The amount of work that goes into a single house, it's not just a buy and hold or buy and set and forget type of investment where you can just sit back and collect the passive income and accrue this millionaire status that everybody's out there flaunting. The amount of work is absolutely daunting, and hopefully I can shed a little bit of light on that so that you guys are more prepared and more educated on what it takes to invest in real estate. So right off the bat, there's a couple different ways that we can invest in real estate. I'm going to give you 3 options here, and then I'm going to explain a little bit about these options, and hopefully you can better understand what it takes and you can make a decision that is best for you. So option number 1 is to buy and flip the house. This is going to be a relatively short time frame where you go out, you buy a house that maybe it needs a lot of work, maybe it needs some updating, maybe it's got some issues going on, and you plan on fixing these issues and then reselling the property at a profit. Option number 2 is buying a rental property. Now, rental properties sound great. Everybody makes it sound like you buy it, you rent the house out, and you collect your passive income month after month after month, worry-free. It's not like that. Rental properties require constant upkeep. You constantly have to worry about whether or not the tenant's going to pay the rent. And if they do pay the rent, excellent, but it's just different things you have to worry about. It's not guaranteed like a lot of people make it seem. And finally, maybe something you haven't heard about are real estate investment trusts, or REITs. These sell exactly like stocks, exactly like ETFs. You can go out, you can buy a REIT, and then as soon as you want to get rid of it, you can sell it. Yes, they pay dividends. Yes, they have capital appreciation. And this is what I think is probably going to be the better opportunity for you guys out there. So let's talk a little bit about flipping a house. There's a lot of shows out there, especially on HGTV. I know we've all seen them. The couple goes out and they have a lot of fun renovating the house and getting the house ready to sell. And of course, the wife or the girlfriend, she's always the designer, and the guy, he always knows exactly what he's doing in construction. So it just works out perfect for them, right? And they're always so happy with what they do. And then they go out and they make a huge profit when they sell the house. Well, let me just give you a little bit of insight into the amount of work that needs to take place in one of these flips for you to even make money. You're either going to have to go out and buy a $400,000 house like they do, or you're going to have to be able to do the work yourself. And trust me when I tell you this, doing the work yourself is not as easy as it sounds. It's not as fun as they make it out to be on these shows. So I don't want to say yes, you've been lied to, but trust me, you need to do your research before you go out and buy a house to flip and then get stuck either paying a contractor tens of thousands of dollars to do work that shouldn't cost that, or you get stuck and you can't do the house and you end up failing because you need to sell it and you're in the same position you were, except you've already sank a lot of money into it, which you can't get back out because then somebody else is going to have to come along and buy it to flip the property as well. Option number 2 is buying rental properties. Everybody thinks it's the greatest thing to go out there and buy a rental property. You're going to be able to rent that house out problem-free, worry-free. The tenant's going to stay there forever. You're never going to have to do any upkeep on the house, and you're just going to be able to collect that rent check month after month after month. It's not like that. You need to make sure the house passes inspection. You need to make sure the house is kept up. You need to make sure everything's up to date. And trust me, when the tenant decides that they don't want to pay rent, it's on you to have to evict them. You can't just go and say, it's time for you to move out, you didn't pay your rent. It's a big legal battle that takes place afterwards, and ultimately it comes down to whether or not the judge says, all right, it's time to get out. And think about it, right now with the pandemic going on and this rent freeze that's going on, if you're a landlord out there and you've got a house that's already been paid off, let's say you don't owe a mortgage on it, so you don't have the mortgage freeze and you're not saving your mortgage payments, but you've got a house that's 100% paid off and you've got a tenant living there rent free. What are you supposed to do in this kind of situation? Just sit back and let somebody live in your house? Well, apparently so. If they don't have to pay rent right now, they're living there rent free. It's not saving you anything on your mortgage because you've already paid the house off. So this is definitely another thing to think about when thinking about renting a house. You don't just go over, sign the lease, and everybody lives happily ever after while you rake in the monthly rent checks and continue to stack that passive income. It's absolutely not like this. So the third investment, and perhaps the best investment for those of you that are not experienced in real estate, if you have no construction background, if you have no real estate background, I would recommend checking out different REITs or real estate investment trusts. And this is probably going to be one of the best opportunities for you because I think it was over a 15-year period, the average real estate investment trust return is 10.6%. Now, if you look at these shows where they're going out and flipping a property, how much are they really making? 10 to 15% on their final sale price after commission and everything. When you go out and you rent a house, after you pay taxes, after you pay insurance, after you pay all of this stuff down, how much are you really profiting on that rental? About 10%, 15% a year. So these returns are in line with what you would be able to do on your own. And they pay a dividend on top of it. So you've got capital gains returns of about 10%, plus you can expect dividend returns on top of that as well. So really, this is going to be the better investment for those people who are not experienced in construction. You're not able to go out there and work on the house yourself. You're not versed in all the legal and all the legalities of renting a house. This is a set it and forget it technique or set it and forget it investment that you can take advantage of the real estate market in. They're called real estate investment trusts. Now let me give you a couple symbols: SBAC, CCI, and EQIX. These are some excellent real estate investment trusts that have been around for longer than 10 years. The equity curve on these REITs are smooth bottom left to upper right curves, and I think that these would be excellent opportunities for you to look into and you to do your research on, especially as a new investor in the real estate market or a new real estate investor. These are going to be liquid. You can get in. If you end up not liking it, you can get out. If you buy a house and you say, this isn't for me, the selling process is absolutely grueling. It's not just to click a button and get out, or I wake up one day and I want to be done with real estate. It's not like that if you go out and buy a house. And like I said before, the returns are there. 10% a year, 10% annual average returns. They pay a dividend on top of it. The liquidity is there. So think about it, guys. Real estate investment trusts are probably for you, and not going out and buying a house, not going out and buying a rental, especially if you're not experienced. So if you found this video helpful, or if you know somebody who is potentially going to go out and buy a house very soon, I would just ask that you share this video with them, share this knowledge with them. And if you liked it, please don't forget to click that like button. If the subscribe button is still red, don't forget to click that subscribe button too. Join the VV Nation. We want to grow together, guys. And until the next time, I hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.
Yeah.